Royal Ludroth is a leviathan introduced in Monster Hunter Rise. He is yellow and has a mane that resembles a sponge. He is the male version of the smaller monster Ludroth, and you can tell him apart by his large size and impressive mane. Royal Ludroth is the second leviathan encountered in Monster Hunter Rise, the first being Lagiacrus. That being said, he is the first leviathan players of this game will kill, making him kind of like a tutorial to this class of monster. In combat, he can spit water projectiles. Some of them remain on the ground as globs that deal damage if you run into them. He can also swing his head around, flipping his tail behind him, which is an attack shared with other leviathans. His signature attack is his ability to roll to his side, knocking you away in the process. His hip checks also have him roll around. Another attack unique to the Royal Ludroth is this charge where he runs around while spitting water globs left and right. After one charge, he will often roll into a second, and when enraged, a third. He can also leap at the player. Royal Ludroth also has a couple other land-based attacks, where he can swish his tail from side to side, or swipe his arm. He can also slam his body down and dash across the arena. In Monster Hunter Rise, Royal Ludroth is one of the monsters capable of going underwater. Most of his attacks are different versions of his land-based ones, but he can flick his tail up from below and dash at you. It is worth mentioning that when exhausted, Royal Ludroth's mane will shrivel up and appear shrunken, making him look much smaller than he would normally appear. He later made an appearance in Monster Hunter Portable 3rd. This game doesn't have underwater combat, being land only, and so Royal Ludroth only fights on land in this game. In fact, he is the only underwater monster from Rise to be in Portable 3rd, with Gobel, Sadius and Lagiacrus being absent. Portable 3rd slowed down a lot of monsters from Rise, and Royal Ludroth is no different. He doesn't move or attack as fast as he did in that game. Despite this, he still has all his land-based attacks. A visual change worth mentioning is that in Rise, Royal would shoot his water globs with his head and front legs raised above the ground. From Portable 3rd onwards, this was changed that his entire body is mostly grounded. He gains a subspecies in this game, the Purple Ludroth. This is a poisonous Royal Ludroth, and his spongy mane is purple to reflect this, as if he has absorbed poison. The poison sums up most of the differences between the two monsters. Every single attack that would inflict water from the Royal Ludroth instead inflicts poison from Purple, such as the projectiles or the body slam. Both Royal and Purple return for Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. In this game, Royal Ludroth moves much faster and once again can go underwater. Purple, however, will always fight on land. This game marks the last time Purple Ludroth has appeared, and the last time Royal Ludroth could be fought underwater. Royal Ludroth's next appearance was in Monster Hunter Generations and its expansion, once again being land only. Aside from speed differences, he is completely unaltered from 3 Ultimate, even in G rank. He later appeared in Monster Hunter Rise and Sunbreak, and for a moment I would really like to praise the details on his spongy mane. It looks really good in this game. Anyway, Royal fights pretty much the same as he always has, but in Rise, he has a new attack where he swings his head around, launching players away. When enraged, he will chain into a roll attack. Sunbreak Ludroth has a massive speed increase and is very aggressive. Whenever he charges, he will always follow up with a leap attack. When he performs a body slam, he will double it up. His race of attack is generally faster, making him much harder than he was in Rise. He also gets Lagiacrus' slide charge back, which he didn't have in Rise. Royal Ludroth's high-rank Blade Master gear features a very long and spongy coat, with armour underneath. The helmet resembles a hood. The female set is similar, although the coat is buttoned up and the hat looks different, a bit like Isabelle from Animal Crossing. The gunner set has a much shorter coat that is buttoned up. The belt that was underneath the coat on the Blade Master set is now over it, and we get a better look at the trousers. They're made from a similar material as the coat. The helmet resembles spiky hair and features goggles. Likewise, the female set also has a helmet that resembles a hairstyle made from sponge, featuring goggles. The G-Rank Blade Master set looks very different, almost resembling samurai armour, with a different helmet, coat and greaves, all tied together with a red belt. The female set follows a similar design, but instead of a huge coat it now has a dress. Both sets have elements of dark blue. The gunner male set is lighter, with more exposed parts, and the female gunner set is a giant dress. Both have helmets with the sponge styled to resemble hair, which reflects the Royal Ludroth well, seeing as his mane is entirely made from a spongy material. In terms of skills seen throughout the series, The sets generally have water attack up, constitution, marathon runner, current resistance, stamina surge, and other stamina related skills. Water attack is an obvious choice, seeing as many of its attacks inflict it. Current resistance is a skill that is basically wind resistance but underwater, and is very useful against Lagiacrus and Ludroth. The stamina skills are on the set so that early game hammer players have a good set to use, but they also reflect Royal Ludroth quite well. The stamina system was introduced in Monster Hunter Rise, and monsters could be exhausted and slowed down heavily after a period of time. Ludroth's exhaustion is showed by his mane being shriveled up, and he goes back to normal when water is absorbed again. This is done in Tri and 3 Ultimate by going underwater, but in other games you'll find him taking a shower beneath a waterfall. Anyway, regarding the stamina skills, a monster with a giant sponge that he fills with water to maintain his energy, having them seems quite fitting if you ask me. The purple Ludroth isn't so different, but instead of water skills he has things like status attack, since he uses poison instead of water. Royal Ludroth is a decent beginner monster. He has a similar moveset to Lagiacrus, but with more land attacks and a reduced underwater moveset, serving as a good tutorial for the new combat. That being said, he was still quite formidable on land for a monster of his threat level, which is why he made it into possible third. In Tri, Royal Ludroth felt like a weaker version of Lagiacrus and to an extent Agnacta, but in Rise he feels pretty unique since Mizetsune, Armadron and Somnacanth fight very differently to him. It makes him stand out a lot better. He is also the only 3rd generation Leviathan to be in the 5th generation, although this is more so due to a technical issue, where Leviathans like Lagiacrus are just too big. Royal Ludroth really is in a lucky spot. I think the best Ludroth is the Sunbreak one. He has all of his attacks and is really fast. He actually poses a fairly decent challenge here. Graphically he also looks amazing. The purple Ludroth feels like he exists because they had to give Royal Ludroth a subspecies. He is basically an element swap and isn't much different than the standard Ludroth. I do find it quite interesting how he doesn't fight underwater, making him contrast more with Royal. Which Ludroth is your favourite? Let me know in the comments. Be sure to like and subscribe and have a good day.